Welcome, welcome
Hobby.
to another episode of Stateside Reds. Manchester United 4, Atletico 1. Manchester United are into a third final in 3 years. We are now European finalists, the champions just yet. But to go from Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Europa League, it's a step up every season, my man. And how are you feeling after today?
I am excited. I'm stoked, man. I'm to the moon right now. I can't believe. I mean, I wanted this to go through, but I can't believe the way the results came out. I'm excited, man. Great.
Yeah, I'm really excited. We've got Tottenham in the finals, which is not going to be an easy task. We are playing ridiculously well in the Europa League. Still the only unbeaten side in Europe right now. And that's something to be said, considering how bad our season has been this year. And to be Europa League finalists with Tottenham, two teams that are languishing in 15th and 16th, I believe, right now.
Hmm.
I don't know, a lot of people giving us shit and people out there saying we don't deserve to be in the Champions League next year, but you have to win it to be in it, and that's what United are doing. And for me, it's exciting. We're 90 minutes away from not only the Champions League, but a possible 200 plus million extra in the spending kitty. How excited are you? How pumped up are you for the finalists? How do you feel going into the game versus Tottenham?
I am pumped. I don't know if I'm like most fans, but I'm actually confident that we're gonna come up with a positive result in the final. I understand the Spurs have had our number this season, but that's in the Premier League and all the other competitions. But I'm in the Europa League, we are the ones that have been undefeated. And I know that Amarin is going to have these guys ready and set to be able to come to that final. And I mean, for most of the part of this tournament, we've been informed, man. We've been informed. So I'm confident we're going to come up with a positive result. Not only for the boys to be able to get some hardware and for us too to be able to celebrate, but what it would mean, the implications going on to next season, the money, the budget is going to be much bigger for us.
Yeah, and it's exciting for me. I know a lot of people putting the emphasis on Man United losing to Spurs 3 times already this season, but you know, going into a European final, you can look back at previous finals. You look at the Tottenham versus Liverpool final. You look at the Man United versus Chelsea finals in Europe, and they're never played to the tempo of a Premier League, because in the Premier League you can lose games here or there. This is massive for either one of them. Neither team's going to go out there and just go all out and expect, and no team's going to sit back, and it's going to be very different to the Premier League. It's not going to be the same, because it's huge implications for both of them. I don't see it being more than a 2-1, 1-0 kind of game. They're both going to be very conservative. They're both going to be like counter-attacking and depending, obviously, type in the game, things change. You saw today for 75 minutes, we got hammered. It was one of the worst games that I've possibly seen from this Manchester United squad, and that's saying a lot from this season. But we make substitutions, make changes, and 𝗕𝗓𝙍𝙍, wow. And I'm just gonna say this to everybody out there, and you know this, Jeremy. Who has been Mason Mount's biggest support this season?
I gotta admit it. It was you. You've been on the chats, man, clamoring for this guy to get a chance to just give him, be patient, just give him an opportunity. And I was always like 50-50 on him. I was like, okay, what is he gonna bring to this team? I understand why, Eric Ten Hag wanted him, um, but today he really showed out his qualities on why he would be a good fit in this team, especially because I mean, you saw what he brought to the table. He has quality, man. Once you give him time, he can be a player in this system, man. Look out for Mason Mount. He was great today, man. Exciting, exciting.
I know he's been injury free for like 2 months now, and I love what Amarim's finally doing with Mason Mount, and love what they're doing to Luke Shaw. He's come in, and last year you looked to when Mount came back, or Luke Shaw came back, anyone that came back from an injury last season, and they constantly were like, nope, you're back in, you're back straight into the team, and then they would get injured and they'll be out. He's out of now for 2 months, and he's been I think last week was the first time he started. He was on for 55 minutes. He came off at the weekend after scoring. I know he started at the weekend. I can't remember how long he was on, but I love what he's doing. He's bringing him back little by little, giving him that confidence. And I've always said Mason Mount is a quality player. And not just off tonight. I've always said that he's a quality player. He just needs time to get over that nagging injury. And it seems to be that same kind of injury, the lower leg kind of injury, tearing it. But when you bring a player back like that, and he's bringing back for 10 minutes, bringing back for 20, you have him in the training, it makes a huge difference for recovery. I've just started running. I've started to notice. I did strength training 2 days ago for the first time. My glutes were killing me. I knew, I was like, man, I can't do any more workouts on this. It's gonna hurt. But these guys go through that every day, so I can understand why injuries happen like that. And I'm so glad and I'm so happy for Mason Mount to not only just get 2 goals today, but to get 1 yesterday. Stephanie Griffith, Ahmed, and Mount made huge differences for this comeback. They did. Both of them brought energy. Both of them brought pressing. And I thought the whole entire game, I'm not sure you, Jeremy, I know you watched the game, but I was screaming for a change around the 60th minute. I was like, they came out in that second half, and I'm shocked that they didn't score. And I'm going to say this now, and it's worrying. If we play anywhere like we did for 60 minutes today, we will lose to Tottenham because they have better strikers. And you got to remember, their 3 top goal scorers are out today. Can you imagine if they had the Williams brothers, and I can't remember the midfielder's name,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Their top goal scorer. Imagine if they had those in today. It could have been a whole different ball game again today. So I'm glad that we got past it. With you, who was kind of your man of the match today?
Mine, for me, well, besides Mason Mount, the other guy that I enjoyed, the 2 of them, well, Leny Yoro. I gotta give Leny Yoro, man. You might not see him like with the stats because of the offensive play, but there were some plays where the like our team was giving up the ball. I don't know if it was there was a moment where it was Lindelof or the midfielder Ugarte.
Yeah.
But Leny Yoro was there just to step up and be able to protect that defense, and not just that, going up front as well. That
Got the assist for the goal.
That pass that it led to a goal. Yeah, that led to a goal. So he's not only good on the defensive side, he's also good going forward, progressing the ball, making sure he's keeping fluidity within the attack. At just 18, 19 years of age?
Yeah, he just turned 19.
Exactly. And he doesn't have his man strength in there yet. Like, look out for Leny Yoro. You see the quality that he has, especially in a game of this magnitude, for him to be composed. It's great to see, and it's great that we have him. And the other player, Ahmad, you saw just right away the quality, the class that Ahmad has. As soon as he stepped on the pitch, I believe he gets either an interception or he's going down the wing on the right side. The quality he has in just throwing, having the ball in the box, quality leading to threats, to chances created, to goals created as well. Ahmad, man, we've missed him so much because you saw right off the bat how much better we looked on attack. And not just that, the way he just put that goal on a silver platter for Rasmus.
He nutmegged the second guy.
If Rasmus didn't score that goal, I think I would have turned off the TV or something. I know we were winning, but still, like, come on, Rasmus. So for him to do that, Ahmad, great. And I just wanted to touch on a point that you mentioned about what 𝗈𝗻𝗄 is doing. You see the difference in quality of the way the coach, the way he's bringing on players that have come off of injury as opposed to Erik ten Hag. As soon as a player would have been available, this guy would have thrown him in to be a starter and then maybe a re-injured. But 𝗈𝗻𝗄 is doing the things right. He's slowly bringing these players in, and I trust in 𝗈𝗻𝗄. If he feels they're fit and ready to start in the final, he will put them in the final and have them start. But I like what he's doing. He's slowly bringing them in to get them acclimated into this team, and so they can fire on all cylinders, especially Mason Mount, because he knows his injury history. So I like it, man. I like what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah, me too. Just a couple of comments. DJ Laz Worldwide. I love that we are going underdogs into the final, just like the Man City FA Cup final. Plus, the Orange always wins a trophy in his second season. That as a United fan gives me hope. Yep. Ronan, talk about Ahmed and Dorgu, Mount and Shaw combos. Hopefully, we don't play Lindelof in the finals. Looking for Maz, 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀, and Yoro as defense combo. That would be a good combo. I'm either gonna go here and say this. I would probably do Euro on the left, 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀 on the right, and probably Maguire in the center because Maguire's he had other than today that because he was at fault for the goal. Didn't kind of look sideways when he passed, but other than that, he has been solid. Stephanie, again, we won't lose to Spurs, but United never do it the easy way. Ahmed will replace Garnacho in the starting lineup. And then Mr. Green, Rasmus almost missed that. He did almost miss that. And that's he did. It was horrible. But you're right with it, like the whole aspects of bringing everyone back. It does look like we should have a pretty much full starting lineup for the final. What would you? I'm gonna ask you, and because then I'll do mine, and then anybody else in the chat, please put their final 11, starting 11 for the finals in. Jeremy, what would be your starting 11?
My starting 11 would be almost similar to what we had today, but I would swap in. I know I'm being prisoner of the moment, but I think he's ready to start if Amarim believes so. I was put Ahmad in at the starting position over Garnacho, and I think I would keep everything the same because I don't know about the 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀 situation, and Shaw I still don't know about his health. I don't trust it 100%. So
He did have
I
his
like
best
him.
game today since he come back. Though.
Yeah. So I mean, again, I don't want to get caught up with prisoner of the moment, but yeah, I probably would put Shaw in the back with Maguire, Leny, and Mason Mount. For some reason, I would like him just to come off the bench as a spark plug. So I would switch in Garnacho for Ahmad and Lindelof for Shaw, and I would keep everything else pretty much the same.
Okay. Yeah, the only thing that I'm kind of worried about with 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀 is he's not going to play Sunday. Not he didn't play today. He's not going to play Sunday. Our next game is Chelsea on the Friday next week. And then Tottenham, which I'm absolutely infuriated about the fact that their game got moved, because if it was Man United, there was no way that theirs would be moved. So that's infuriating me. Mine, I would play. Obviously, you got to play Rasmus up front. There's no other option.
Yeah.
I like Ronan, man. I like Ronan where he's saying Ahmed and Dorgu on the right, and Mount and Shaw on the left as the 10s. So you've got Dorgu playing right wing back, Ahmed on the right 10, Mount as the left 10, and Shaw as the left wing back. I like that. I think Maz. I think there's something wrong with Maz. He did not play good today. He was lucky not to get sent off for that second elbow where he jumped up.
Yeah.
And he seems off. And the manager's already said it, right? He didn't play at the weekend because he's close to an injury. I'm wondering if he has an injury. And we're just not being saying it because he's not looking good out there. And that's worrying for me. Dorgu was horrendous today. Is Aiden Heaven in with a chance of making the final? Yes, he is. He's back on grass training. We've got 2 weeks to the final. He might have a chance for the bench. I'm not sure he's going to be ready to start, but he definitely will be on the chance to go on the bench. I think Garnacho needs to come off the bench. This is a game where he can change it coming off of the bench. I would start with Mount, Ahmed, with Rasmus up front. I'm going to drop Bruno back with Casemiro. Ugarte didn't look good today. And I think it was quite evident how he just kept, for some reason, he kept going up forward, which is not a bad thing. But he kept leaving Casemiro exposed in that midfield, and we know Casemiro doesn't have the legs to get back, right? So
Yeah.
but then on the other hand, he's ranked in what, the top 5% this year for ball recoveries. It's a tough decision. So I'm still gonna drop Bruno back and have Casemiro as a CDM because Bruno's coming it towards the end of his 10 because he's 30 now, and I think he's honestly in that speaker. I think he's gonna do a Wayne Rooney and kind of drop back, play that deeper lying ball. And then 𝙈𝙊𝙍 on the right, Shaw on the left. Depending on de Ligt's fitness, we can't stick him in if he's not ready. But de Ligt, Maguire, Leny Yoro on the left. And then Onana in the goal.
Wow, you're switching up the lineup quite some bit. You're having faith in de Ligt starting then if he comes back.
That's what I'm saying. If he's ready to come back. If he's not, then you put Maz there.
So after what you saw today, you're confident in having Luke Shaw start then?
Yeah.
Mm.
Luke Shaw, there's always quality there with Luke Shaw, right?
Yeah, I don't debate that. It's just for me, like, if he has the fitness to be able to go a full 90.
No, he probably doesn't. But that's what I'm saying. You can always put 𝙈𝙍𝙍 back on the left. And then, because we looked, right, when Ronan was right, when they made the changes and 𝙈𝙍𝙍 went over to the right and Shaw was on the left, it completely changed the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, Stephanie's saying Garnacho is so frustrating. His shots are rarely on target. That chance just before halftime was poor. Had to score. Thankfully, it didn't matter in the end. You're right. And it wasn't just the fact that the shot was poor, Stephanie. It's the fact that his decision making was poor. He's going at an angle towards the goal. He's not going directly ahead. He's going an angle towards the goal. The goalie's coming out. And instead of just blowing past the goalkeeper and putting it in net, he decides to chip the goalkeeper. That's concerning for me because you're right. He has so many shots this year. He's close to almost 100 shots in all competitions, and I think his goal scoring rate is what, 10%. I think.
Yeah.
I think around that. It's pretty bad. Ronan saying we can't play de Ligt and Maguire, too slow to get exposed in counterattacks. We need fast centre backs along with Maguire or de Ligt. Yoro, de Ligt, and Heaven would be perfect CB partnership. Yeah, no, I agree. The only thing is, like, Maguire's just been so good.
Yeah, right? Maguire has brought us so far to the final. I mean,
yeah,
I would be hesitant to say, okay, Maguire, you did all this to get to the final, now get on the bench, especially because Heaven, hey, he's injured, he can come back, but I wouldn't trust him 100% to start. Maybe to come off the bench, you know, if it goes extra times, and we need some fresh legs on the back. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'd love Heaven back for the final. I really would. The fact that he's only just going on grass this week indicates to me that unless he plays this weekend, unless he's on the bench and comes on for 10 minutes, I don't start him.
Yeah, because we have 2 games before the final. We have West Ham and we have Chelsea.
West Ham Sunday and then Chelsea Friday.
Yep. So you have Amorim has 2 games to be able to assess who's going to be game fit to either start in the final or come off the bench. Because at that point, for me, it's all hands on deck. If you're healthy, all hands on deck, man.
For me, Garnacho doesn't start. It would be a travesty if Garnacho starts the final.
Yeah. Same because, you're right. Because, like you, at least like me, I don't want this to go more than 90. And Ahmad, I feel like I have more trust in him in putting away a goal or making the right decision to put for a goal. That way we don't even have to go the extra times and we can just settle it in the first 90 minutes and get a win over Spurs.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to bring Garnacho off the bench. Like, seems like and no disrespect to Garnacho, right? This guy's been thrust into a Manchester United squad, been asked to play nearly every single game for Manchester United since he started. Of course he's going to get burnt out. Of course he's going to get frustrated. He's not having the development that at Manchester United he should have had. You know, if he had had someone like Fergie to put his arm around, like kind of Ronaldo, I'm not saying that he would be anywhere close to Ronaldo, but he's also not had the development at Man United because he's had 3 coaches at Man United.
Hmm.
you know, and it's difficult for young players. It's difficult for, and the other thing is, right, we haven't talked about Mainu being on the pitch.
Oh
We
yeah,
didn't talk
he
about
made a
Mainu
cameo
being
today.
on.
He made a cameo.
We
To
did.
be honest, I didn't really see much of him, but I mean, I saw him come in, and I was like, okay, he's coming in, but I didn't really pay attention to him too much. So I was just more focused on Ahmad and Mount, the way they were looking out on the pitch, man.
Yeah, and I would 100 start Mount. Mount deserves to start. You know, he scored in his debut. Well, the start of the season, and he's got 3 goals in 2 games now.
Hmm.
And that second goal, and the first goal was incredible. It reminded me of Ahmed against Liverpool. Not Ahmed, Mainu against Liverpool. You know, when Mainu did the same thing, he
Hmm.
flicked it
Hmm.
between his leg, turned, and
Yep.
it hit it
Yep.
back. Reminded me of that. But that second one, to hit it from 45 yards away on your weak foot in a
Yeah.
standing position, because he didn't run onto it. He was literally standing position and hit that ball to get that accuracy. And the best thing for me wasn't just the goal; it was afterwards when he stood there and you could see that smile. You could see the Mason Mount that he wanted to be back.
Hmm.
So that was really good for me. You
Yeah,
uh
man.
yeah, go ahead.
I love that for him. No, I love that for him too. The quality you see, and the first goal he got, that got me thinking. Like, if Rasmus was put in that position, would he have that wherewithal to be able to do that, or he has that quality and he doesn't?
He
So
does
it's great.
have it, but I think his confidence is down because remember last year
Yeah.
against Villa, right?
Hmm.
We were 2-0 down. We came back to win 3-2, and Rasmus got that ball. It kind of came on the volley. I think that was his first Premier League goal for Man United. Um, he has it. I think his confidence is so down, and he's one that like that Garnacho. He hasn't had the development. Hey, you're in 18 years old. You're going to be Man United's starting striker. Like it's hard, right? You can't just do that
Yeah.
to these young players. And I think next year, I think, and I'm going to say this: when we win the when we're in the Champions League next year, and we're looking at potentially bringing 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀, and I'm going to say Ozman because there is reports now that we are back, be
There's
interested in
back
whether,
talk with him.
yeah, we're in talks. Whether it's true or not, it's just reports. When you got the likes of Cunha playing at that 10 position, you're going to have players like Garnacho who are able to sit on the bench, learn for well-established players in the Premier League. You're going to have Rasmus Højlund learning from maybe 𝙈𝙊𝙍 or, you know, whoever's going to be up front for Manchester United. Because it's not going to be Rasmus Højlund as the starting striker next year.
Yeah.
I hope to God it is not Rasmus Højlund as the starting striker next year.
Yeah. It's you know what it is because Manchester United, you're like under a microscope, and for his age, and no matter who it is, you're gonna have growing pains, and typically you have those growing pains at either a lower league or a team that's not at the forefront like Manchester United, so they can kind of hide. But with Manchester United, you can't hide. Everything is hiding. Any miss you make, any bad touch. So that's unfortunate, but that's just how it is when you're at this big club. And yes, just like you, I hope Rasmus is not the main man leading the line next year. We have a proven striker, and he can learn from him, and he can just come in and be like that understudy. I would love that for him. But yeah, sometimes it's frustrating seeing him because it's like if you see the player in him, I mean, like you said, you saw it last year, but this year is just like, where is the quality? At least for me, I'm like, wow, is it even there, or is it just a confidence? So like you said, I hope he's not that starting striker next year.
Yeah, definitely saying I'd play 𝙈𝙊𝙍 for the next 2 Premier League games instead of Rasmus. Need Højlund for the final. You're absolutely right, but on the other aspect of that, it's like, do we play him and hope he can get a goal or two to keep boosting that confidence? We do need him, trust me, because we have no other striker available. But it's like he's the last person I'm looking at maybe going down injured, but he has been injured a little bit. So I would definitely start 𝙈𝙊𝙍 in the next 2 games and then bring Rasmus off for 20 minutes to match fit, maybe get a goal, keep boosting that confidence for him. And then Ronan saying Conference League final on the 29th, but Europa League final on the 22nd. I believe it's the 21st, Ronan. Depending on where you're, where in the world, you know, you're chatting from.
It's the 21st for the final. Yeah, it's on, at least here
It's on a Wednesday,
for
yeah.
us in LA. It's on a Wednesday, which
Yeah.
is odd. Why do they have that on a Wednesday?
It was Wednesday last year too. Yeah, it's insane why they're putting it. Feels like UEFA tripping. We need to talk about Anthony dragging Betis to the European final. Hopefully we can get 65+ million for him in the summer. Reports today looks like, so 𝗈𝙊𝙍𝙍 Betis came out and said to Manchester United that if you don't give us him on loan next summer, we're not going to make a bid. Boo-hoo, 𝗈𝙊𝙍 Betis. Boo-hoo. Because other reports today are saying Atletico Madrid and Diego Simon are really interested in him this summer. I'm going with a bidding war right now with him. He's for me, as good as he has been on loan, he's not suited for Premier League. Sorry.
Same with you. I feel like if that's the case, better for us. Bring up the price. That means we're able to get more for him. And just like you said, he's not. I don't think he's suited for the Premier League. The game's too fast for him. He does better in a little slower league, and especially in cup competition, it's a little slower. It's different than just the league, as you see it here with the Europa 2 with us in the Premier League. It's just a different game.
Mm-hmm.
So it suits him well. So that's why you see him thriving in that type of league. So by all means, if another team enter the race, and that just means that drives up the price, by all means.
Here's the big thing, right? Everyone's on this Anthony train right now. Here's the big thing that we're going to see is him in the final. He's got to play an English team. He's playing Chelsea in the final. Can he do that versus Chelsea? If he can, Stephanie saying, great show, lads. See you soon. Come on, United. Thank you for stopping in, Stephanie. Please hit the thumbs up and please come back again. I much appreciate you coming in. But yes, can he do that versus Chelsea? Because if he comes up against Chelsea and has a shit show and doesn't play well, then we know it's Premier League. But if he comes up against Chelsea and destroys Chelsea, is it worth giving him another opportunity?
I don't know. What about you, Sean? For me, at least for me, I feel like I've seen enough. Maybe because of the price tag that we had to pay for him. I just want to sell him while his stock is at its highest.
Yes.
Because even if he doesn't do well with Chelsea, I don't believe the La Liga teams are going to steer away from signing him. If anything, it might hurt his stock maybe just a little bit, but not enough for him to be able to, get that price tag, because he's showing it throughout the league over there in La Liga and in the Conference League. So by all means, sell him now while his name is still hot.
Yeah, I agree. Stephanie's saying Anthony versus Sancho final showdown. Irony or what?
I didn't realize that. You're right. That is great.
You're absolutely correct. And the worst part about it is, Stephanie, if Betis win the final and United win the final, Anthony becomes the first player in history to win 2 trophies in the same season with 2 different teams.
Wow, how does that work? So he
played for United in the Europa League.
Winning for United?
Yeah, because he played for United in the Europa League.
Oh my goodness.
So he'll win a Europa League final and a Conference League final in the same season with 2 different teams.
Wow, that's interesting. I did not know that it can happen.
He'll be the first player in history to do it.
Nice. But that's why he's the GOAT, right? As those memes are out there.
Is that cheese in your background? But for me, I agree with you, right? You've got to sell him now while he's hot. Because if we bring him back and he goes back to the way he was in the Premier League, you've just lost 20 million on him. Right now, I believe we can get 40, 45 for him. If he comes, I honestly believe a Spanish team or a German league is going to pay 45 million for him. Just dude, he was on fire today. He's scoring some incredible goals. I think a Spanish team or a German league, someone's going to come in around 45 million for him. Hopefully we get a bidding war. Doubt to see it, but it might happen. But for me, if he comes back, turns into old Anthony again, we get 20 million for him.
Yeah.
And right now, especially if we don't win this Europa League final, which I believe we will, we're in financial problem. to the point where I honestly think if we don't win this final, I can see Bruno leaving.
You can. Wow. Even though he's rejected the Saudi deals, you think those
Well,
talks will
he
come
did.
back up?
Well, where there's no report saying he
Oh yeah,
rejected
you're
it.
right. He didn't reject it. You're right. The team, right? The team was the one that.
Yeah, Man United have rejected it. So
Yes.
if United don't get if we don't get that Champions League money, just what 100 right off that.
Yes.
And then we get
I
100
don't.
million for Bruno.
I don't know. I know I know the money, but I feel like Bruno still has that fire, that competitiveness in him. I'm not saying that he wouldn't leave to another team,
But he's also getting
not to
paid $1
Saudi.
million. Was it 1.25 million a week at Saudi? They're offering
Yes,
him.
yes, around that, like 1 point something. I saw that report. That's how much he would be earning a week.
Yeah,
which is a ridiculous amount of money.
He'll be the richest player in the world. But you also got to look, if we don't win the Europa League, we're not in Europe next year. We finished 17th. He signed a new contract on the premise that we were going to be competitive, and we've been less than competitive this year. I know we're in a Europe final, but we don't win it. What's for him to stay? Why would he stay?
Oh man, I don't know. I feel like he would still want to play in important matches. Maybe not another Premier League team, but maybe he would want to go to one of the big teams in La Liga, like Real Madrid or Barcelona. I mean,
But none
right
of them
now
are
he
going to
would
sign
probably.
him, right? Because Real Madrid,
Yeah, they won't.
Real Madrid won't sign him on the premise of the fact it's going to cost 100 million. They're getting players like Trent and all that for free.
Yeah, they're getting guys on the free now. They've learned now. Real is like they get guys on the free just because their name alone, they know they're going to attract big players.
And then Barcelona, it looks like from reports today that Rashford's camp has opened up talks with Barcelona because Lewandowski's getting older, so they're going to want a new striker. Get Rashford for about 40 million. Why not? Fast paced against the Spanish teams. He could do what I'm doing over there. So,
wow,
yeah, for me,
that's crazy. So, if we don't make it, that's a big if. I just like you, I'm confident that we're gonna come out on top on that final, but you can't really say that until you see that game and see the results. So, I don't know. I don't even want to think about us losing Europa and what that would mean for the team and implications, Bruno and etc. Wow.
I don't remember the last time we didn't turn up for a final. Even when we lost to City, we only lost 2-1. We won the Carabao Cup. Actually, so this is four finals in 4 years. Because we went to the Carabao Cup that season. We won. We lost to City in the FA Cup that final. We beat City in the following season.
Yes.
And then Europa League. So 4 finals in 4 years. Yeah, Arsenal, Arteta, suck it.
Exactly. It was so beautiful to see, and not just that. I know we're talking about United, but did you see his comments? What did he say? Something about like the best.
We were the best team. Yeah.
The best team lost in Europe, and come on, man.
The best team left Europe lost.
Yes. Oh my God, the delusion of the fans and just the coach as well. Because what I've heard that Barcelona was actually one of the best teams that were turned out in the Champions League, not Arsenal.
I think Barcelona were the best team in the competition. I do. I think that game against Inter was one of the most classic games that I've ever seen. They reminded me, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but the Man United versus Juventus from 1999.
I haven't. I need
go back and watch that. I think it was the semi-final where we beat Juve in the semi-final, and Roy Keane just had a blinder of a day. He just took control of that game, and it's games like that reminded me of old football, and how football's kind of played. Cheese with the fire emojis. Cheese, I bet you're fired up today. No championship next year, and a possible Champions League spot. He's got to be fired up.
I know. Cheese, where you at, man? You're
no, that and his goat scored today.
Relegation watch and doom and gloom, and we're out here going on to a final, potentially winning and going to Champions League. Come on, Cheese.
Cheese.
I saw Ronan said, it all comes down to confidence. Anthony is currently full of it, so we might see a much better version of him in the final.
Yeah. Dude, he is The only player, the only
Who?
Ahmed and Bruno. Hold
Oh,
up, guys. I'm gonna put Mikey in here real quick.
oh, I see him here. What's up, Mikey?
Um, gotta make some changes.
Mikey, were
Sorry,
you at work?
guys, for
You at
the.
home when you watched the game?
All right,
And it,
boys, we have you in. Mikey, what a win!
what's up, brother?
What a win!
Boy, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. I can't believe that in in what was it? 65 minutes we were that bad.
We were against Bank.
We looked terrible, but then we turn around and make 3 changes, and it just shows you who's the main heartbeat to this team. Shouts to Bruno, who was trying everything. He was trying. He was trying everything, but it's just that they had us so pinned down, and we didn't have an outlet ball to play. And you don't have real hold guys that can hold up the ball, or real people that can beat guys and get past and progress the play. In Hoyland and Garnacho sometimes could, but Hoyland can't do it. And then Bruno's too busy getting pinned in trying to pass the ball forward. But what a change. That guy Ahmad, bro, I'm telling you.
Who's the other
Him-
guy? Who's the other guy, Mikey? That I've been. I haven't seen you in a week and a bit.
Hey, kudos to Mason Mount, bro. Kudos to Mason Mount. I feel like that open goal, once he got it, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's going in. That's going in. That's clear as day. But just putting himself in the right positions, and hopefully he could do that all the time. The thing is about Mason Mount is that we've been getting on to him for is that he's just been hurt, and then there's other times where we just don't see him in the game. So now he's getting a run of games. I don't quite think he should start yet, but I think as he gets the more run of games, if he shows stuff like this all the time, he'll be starting in no time. It's not hard to take Garnacho's spot.
That's interesting you said, Mikey, because Sean just said that he would probably start. Did you know we said, Sean, that you would start him for the final?
Yeah, so what would you think of this? Because this was the lineup after the change. It was Dorgu on the right with Ahmed and Luke Shaw on the left with Mason Mount. And it did well. Would you consider that in for the final?
Just not starting because like it just depends on who they have back. Is Van der Ven gonna be in? Is Van der Ven gonna be back in time?
I don't think he is, no.
Yeah,
and
so
Mason's gonna be out for season 2. Madison.
Yeah, it just depends on who they have at the back because they like to play the high. They play a high line, and they have Van der Ven is the fastest defender in the Premier League. Is maybe the fastest player in the Premier League, and he's able to stop and nullify speed like Garnacho or whatever. So I think Mason, when Garnacho's playing bad, I would rather have the seasoned vet that's on a good little run of form come in and then get to take the scruff of the game as opposed to a kid coming in at the end of the game that we've been seeing in and out form from, right? But if he starts, that's cool. That's cool. We'll just see what he does, and then they'll be interchangeable. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. That lineup isn't the worst as long as Ahmad plays.
Yeah, Van der Ven did start tonight.
Yeah, see, if Van der Ven is in and Romero, they're tough, bro. Udogi and Poro, they're tough. They're not the best. Look at it. They've lost 19 games, right? They're not the best defense, but against us, they've been able to nullify our attack multiple times. And Van der Ven didn't play in all of those games, I don't think. So he's the biggest threat.
Yeah, I was saying to Jeremy, before though, I'm not counting the 3 games that we've lost to them already this year because if you look at the Chelsea United final, Tottenham Liverpool finals, European finals, when the teams play each other, tend to be a very different game than the Premier League. So I'm not going to count those losses this season. In actual fact, I would probably say this final is more of United's favour, just on the fact that we've won with 4 finals in 3 years. We've won 3 of them. Tottenham hasn't won a trophy since 2009. They've lost every final that they've been in since then. So I think that just gives us that little bit of an edge. Paul Scholes said it best today. For the first time that I've liked something that he said in a while is United have the edge here because United has the history of winning finals. We usually don't lose finals unless it's a big club. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna say that, man.
We,
I'm
we,
not gonna say that.
we had
That's
the
crazy to say.
It is,
That's
but if
crazy.
you look at the years that we've been in finals, though, we usually just don't lose them. Like we lost twice to Barcelona, who for me is regarded as the best team ever assembled. Those 2 years. We lost to City, who was arguably one of the best Premier League sides of all time. That's the only finals we lost. Oh, we lost to. Ollie couldn't get it done, couldn't get us over the line. You know, he was in 2 finals and couldn't get us over the line. So
Villarreal.
But it wasn't like we played bad in that game. It was just it came down to penalties and a penalty shootout that we never see. You know, it was just that. It went that long that the goalies had to take penalties.
But that's what makes the hot hand argument, or like the run of form, or the history, or like look at Newcastle. Newcastle hasn't won anything in 60 years. They just won their first trophy, their first ever trophy. So like I think every game's a new one. I don't believe in the whole pedigree. I believe in experience. Now, if you say, hey, these guys are experienced like Casemiro knows what to do he knows how to handle the pressure of moments and
Mount
stuff like
does
that.
too.
If you say things like that, then yeah, but just because we've already said this and stated it multiple times, we're not the Man United of old. That
We're not.
all of
I
this
agree
stuff
with you.
does not apply to us in this case. I just want to look at the X's and O's as far as we've played this team 3 times and we've gotten battered. I think 2 of those times. I think 2 of those times it was 3-0 at the house and away. I want to say, and I have to look at those games to see what did they do in this in these situations that made us. And granted, we were playing with Ten Hag. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of outliers to why
we got beat
lost.
by them in February too.
Yeah, you know, we were playing new manager,
new
manager. You know, all of those things, those are count. But the whole European pedigree stuff, I leave that. I don't believe in the hot hand thing. I just think, especially with a lot of these guys, they've never been there. They don't know what it's like. A lot of them, most of them, have no pedigree in this competition whatsoever, except outside of Casemiro and who.
Mount.
Yeah, Mason Mount,
I think
he's recently just
Luke Shaw and Bruno have both been to finals before.
Luke Shaw's won one.
Yeah,
Luke Shaw's won one, and I think who else? Todd Heaton.
Tom Heaton.
Tom Heaton. He knows what it's like. But yeah,
𝗏𝗏's been to a semi-final. Never been to a final.
Casey says, I believe our squad healthy has more quality than Tottenham.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Overall, I would agree with it. Yeah. And it looks like we're going to have a pretty full squad. It looks like even 𝗏𝗏 might be back for the final. Not that I would play him, but it looks like he might be back for the final, or at least be on the bench. Aiden Heaven's probably going to be on the bench for the final. You know, being back on grass training. 𝗏𝗏's probably going to be back for the final. Ahmed, I would just wrap in bubble wrap right now and just wrap him up. Like you're not even playing till the final. I know he's got to play. Got to keep it match. Got to get that up. Yeah, overall, just 75 minutes of shit, and then just making a great substitution. And for the first time in a long time, I'm going to applaud Amorim for making that substitution, because recently he has been making some not some some questionable substitutions. So
yeah, I think we have a good squad. I think we might be on par with Tottenham, to be honest. Given our results are pretty similar, we've lost to the same amount of teams. I think our quality is on par with them. They're our level. Like, man, all year I've been saying, what's our level? What's our level? Tottenham's our level. They are our level. So like, to face anybody else, I mean, once again, I got to give myself a little credit. I said we would meet Tottenham at the end. I said we would meet them at the end, and I wanted to meet them, but like, they do worry me, because not having a trophy too puts a little added pressure on you. Can it be negative? Can it be positive? Yeah, it could be both of those at the same time. Even they have everything to gain, and because they haven't won anything, people expect them to lose. So that kind of gives them an edge. It just depends. Mentality is a crazy thing.
They'll
But I think
probably
we're
fine for
on
Angie's
level with
job
them,
too.
huh?
They're probably fine for Angie's job too. Because
Yeah,
if he loses, he's done.
I think they should fire him either way. There's no way you could lose 19 games in the Premier League and keep your job like that. I just think that's insane. I think you don't go up from there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just think that this team, I mean, granted, it wasn't a European final, but it was still a final, the FA Cup, when we got the number on Man City. So some of these guys, not all of them, right? They have some experience in a do or die situation. Um,
Yeah.
so this is going to be a different type of game. I think we were talking about it earlier with Sean. This is not going to be like a Premier League type of game. It's going to be a final. So
Mm.
we don't know how some of these guys are going to react. Some of them might be a little too tight. Some of their passing, might be a little under pressure on anything. um, but
Can't
like
be
you
any
said,
worse
we
than
got
Dorgu's passing today. Jesus.
yeah, exactly. But you see Casemiro, you see a different Casemiro when he plays in cup competition as opposed to Premier League. You saw it today too, man. You saw sometimes when he needed to give a fierce tackle and just be like a bully in there in the midfield. You saw it. Um, so I feel like some of these guys have that composure. But man, I'm confident in this team. I don't know, Mikey. I don't know about you, but I'm confident we might be able to come up with a good result
I don't know.
against Tottenham.
I just don't know. I have
Yeah.
to assess. I have to assess the game that we just played. They missed some. They missed four of their best players in that game. Right, Sanse wasn't in. Williams brothers weren't in, and their defender that got sent off, he wasn't in. And
Vivian.
they're on the road facing a big lead. Now, granted, they did have us under pressure for a lot of it, but I feel like we did handle it pretty well, except for the goal. Um, we were annoyed because it's like the pressure of us blowing it. We've been there before. We've
Mhm.
blown games where we had the lead. We've been tremendous or whatever the case may be. So um, we also did play a team that was heavily depleted on the road. That probably wasn't our level. So I don't know what to make of it yet. I was excited and I was like, yeah, we're gonna beat Spurs. We're gonna beat them. I was gonna hold off. But I think it's a very level game here. I don't think we're streets ahead of Spurs.
I got a question for both. You could kind of see it today, barring the result. I know the result 4-1, but we didn't play well. Do you think the final being away from home helps us, considering our away form this year? Because our away form has been much better than our home form.
You take that, Jeremy.
I don't know. I think it might. I think it might, man. Because for some reason, when we play away from home, we've been able to come up with better results. So I mean, for
This
me,
is
I
in a
feel like it.
stadium that we've already played in. Played in there
Yeah,
last
it's
week.
it's a familiar stadium. We got a good result over there. I don't know. I'm just really confident we're gonna come up with a good result, especially because I got a friend that's a huge Spurs fan, and I remember when I was kind of coming up and watching European football, he wanted me to like root for Spurs and whatnot, and I was like, hell no. Once I started really seeing United games, I'm like, yeah, I'm not rooting for Spurs, bro. Hell no. And he gives it to me anytime he can when it's the Spurs United, since he knows like I post stuff about United, he'll send me like a DM here and there just to annoy me. So I got that. I
I'm
got that
gonna
rooting interest as well.
I'm gonna bring on two Spurs fans and do a thing called Op View in the next coming weeks, and just we'll try to do a combined 11 for the two shit teams. We'll try to do a combined 11. So yeah, I didn't. What was the initial question?
So the fact that how bad that we've been playing at home this year, and we saw it
Oh,
again today. Do you think playing away in a stadium that we've already played in this year and won 3-0 gives us a more of an edge because of how better we've been playing away this year? Not an
When
edge over Tottenham, but just ourselves, an edge over ourselves.
when we say edge, I think it does definitely can help the mentality. Yeah, for sure. Like we've been here, we've done all of this. Now it's like we'll be the more comfortable side, right? We've played the more experienced teams, and we've done it here already. And we're right back here. We'll be right back here in 2 weeks' time.
Mhm.
So I think that does help mentality wise. I think Spurs. The only thing with Spurs that kind of fucks me up is the fact that they've never won anything. And if I've never won anything, I'd be playing my heart out. Like
Mhm.
and especially when I've been in this season where I've lost 19 games, like all of that can work against them or for them. So, but I think the Bilbao thing already being there, beating them like we did today, that definitely could give a boost to the mentality.
Yeah, Ronan said.
And shout out to Ronan, Sean.
I was just gonna read
Yeah, I
that.
see that
Go
too.
ahead, read it. Go ahead.
Yeah, United versus Spurs, 3 games. First game we lost 3-0 under Erik ten Hag. Second game we had Lindelof, Eriksson, and Anthony in the starting lineup.
What was the score for that second game? That's my question.
3-0, wasn't it? Something. I think it was pretty bad. And then the third game we lost 1-0, but didn't have Yoro or Ugarte due to injury.
So it's looking towards us to win the fourth game.
Yeah. So you add some little bit of more context, you can see a little bit more of the full picture, and I feel a little bit more confident with all the guys that we have now up against theirs.
Well, yeah, because Amarim said it tonight. The chances of losing 4-0 to one team in a season is pretty low. I don't think United have never lost to 4 teams in a row in one season.
We've never done a lot of stuff, and look at us. We've never.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I don't even want that to be said on the universe too, Sean, because then it's like, oh, that's never happened, and then it happens. Yeah. You are the one team that makes history, just like the commentator today. Oh, United have not lost 3-0, or something. Have not lost a game when they were 3-0 up. Back in the 60s, I was like, what the hell? Now we're gonna be the only team that happens. So
you guys want to know an interesting fact about this European season? This has been our highest goal-scoring European season ever.
With how many goals?
I can't remember how many it was, but I know it's the highest. They mentioned it earlier.
There's one. I think United has had the most teams this season do the double over them in history. I think it was 7. It was what? So we lost what? We've lost 15 games. So 6 doubles done over us. The home and away losses. That's insane.
With the guys that we're facing in the final being one of them.
We fucked up. We fucked up so many of those stats. Those never did stats. We've done that in abundance today. So, I like I said, those things can work against you, bro. Those things can work against you. It's either rapport or pressure, whatever you want to call it. I just got to look at the man. I think if we set up good, I think Ronan brings up a good point. Shouts to Ronan. He brings up a good point with the first game and telling us what's going on. The second game, having Anthony and Eriksson, Lindelof in the lineup, having Anthony there at that time. If we had today's Anthony playing like how he is now, but who's to say?
Ronaldo.
Yeah, who's to say he does that? Who's to say he does that for us, right? Because the league's different or whatever the case may be. But I think that definitely gives us some real context to what's going on here. I think we have a strong side if we set up well and we play. I really feel like it's going to go down to penalties.
Damn. I think it's going to go to penalties?
2-2 penalties.
2-1, whoever scored the late 70th, early 80th.
I say 2-2 penalties, and it goes 7-6 to United. Onana saves one.
You know what, Mikey? I don't know if you're reading my mind. The way after the game, I was literally daydreaming, watching we score the second last one. Onana saves the last one, and last one to win the game. Yeah, it's literally how I was doing on the way home.
Just like how I was fantasizing about, damn, we could be in this final playing Spurs after Sociedad. I'm like, what would be a better end to the season than our goalkeeper who struggled the entire season, talking about leaving, all this other stuff that we all hate, coming up with a big save. He's done it before. He's saved penalties before. He's not above doing it, but he's also thrown games away for us. So I think he's been doing a quiet job of not doing that in the last few games.
He's been very quiet.
As long as he's quiet. Yep. I mean, I do think he could have saved that one goal today. I do feel like if he stretches out with one hand, he saves that. But also, Onana's a small keeper. He's not a big guy. He's like 6'4". He's not big. He's not like a 6'7" type dude. Like those kind of. What happened to the old goalkeeper that was 6'7", 6'8"? What happened to those guys? You don't see.
They're not that big.
You mean the one that we're going to try and sign in the summer?
He's a small dude. He's just athletic, and he could get to the ball, but he doesn't get to the ball down fast. Mm-hmm. But I also feel like that was hit pretty well. He didn't have time to shuffle his feet over. It was a good hit, and Maguire should have just put it out. He should have put it out. That pass he played to Leny Yoro was shit. and he just put us
Yeah,
in a bad
man.
place. Yeah, he should have,
He
especially with
didn't.
all the pressure, just put it out. We'll deal with it later.
I don't even think he even looked at Yoro to see where he was at position. He just kind of, I guess he probably saw, oh, he's in this space. I'm just gonna throw it out there, bro. That was
Hey, at
bad. That
least
was on him.
as long as he gets his mistake out in that game and not the final, I'm fine.
Yeah, which is different. It's different what a season makes, because last year I would have been like, oh my gosh, now Maguire's gonna have another mistake in him. I was just like, okay, that's a one-off. I still trust in Maguire to be able to do a shift out there in the back. So I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not
Mikey,
mad. I'm not too mad at Maguire for
Yeah,
that. He was defending
same.
for his life, but at the same time, it's like you got to look at it, and I can't put all the blame on Onana for that. Because that was a really good hit. It was a really good hit, and we should have put that fire out way before we got to that point. So
Mikey, me and Jeremy gave our starting 11 for the final. Do you want to give yours?
I say the same starting lineup except for I guess I would. You know what? As the time progresses, I'm really okay with Mount starting now. Over Gernot. It's interchangeable. It could be the same lineup from today. I just don't like 𝙈𝙊𝙍 no more, man.
See, I
See,
had the same line, kind of like you, Mikey. I think I switched up Garnacho for Mount.
Lindelof too.
That's about it. Yeah, and Lindelof. Yeah, and Lindelof for Shaw.
If
Just to see,
Delict
okay.
will Delict be ready? Because if it's
The
that,
lid's going to be ready, but I don't know how fully fit he will be.
I'll start Delict if he's ready to go, like full on ready to go. I'll take Delict over Lindelof in today's lineup. Delict though, and then put him in the center. Well, put Maguire in the center. Well, he was today. Yoro, Delict, Maguire, 𝙈𝙁. I don't know, man. I might have to put Luke Shaw in there. I don't
I put
know.
Luke Shaw. I put 𝙈𝙁 on the right though.
Yeah, I might have to. I think Maz played a decent game today. I wasn't too mad at him.
Do you agree though that he looks injured? Something looks off. Because the coach has already said that he's a game away from being injured. He didn't. For me, he didn't look bad today, but he didn't look great.
Yeah, I don't know if injured was the case. I think maybe tired. He looks a little. He's played a lot. He's been playing a lot, and then maybe injured. I think for me probably tired though. Yeah, this same lineup, just take Lindelof, and I don't think Lindelof played. I'm being a little tough on Lindelof. I don't think Lindelof was actually too bad today.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Hey, if we're
And
2
also
3
another
0
thing
up in the
about
final, put him
Mazraoui,
on.
Sean. Oh.
If we're 2-3 0 up in the final, put him on because that's his last game for Man United. He's done for that game.
Yeah.
I mean, Mazraoui didn't look too bad. I'm just seeing the replay of the game right now, like around the 50-minute mark. He comes in, puts in a good tackle to get the ball from the box. I think it just maybe has to do with the fact that now he's playing out as a wing back. So playing out there requires more so physically out of him as opposed to being a center back. So maybe that could also be attributed to it.
He's done a good job too in
Yeah.
the two legs. He's done a great job in the two legs. He's still, for me, I think with everything considered, he might be signing this season.
Right.
Only because he's fit and he was there. I think I would give it to Delict if he wasn't getting hurt all now, right? Like, and that's nothing he can help. He can't help those things. But when you
can't help someone
play,
fall on your leg.
yeah, when you can't play, or when you can't consistently go, or like you're not in, I can't give you that accolade if you're not in the game. I think Maz is always in the game, but I'm not blaming him. I think it's 1A and 1B.
And Mikey and Sean, when you said about your lineup, if you would start Delit, Maguire, and Yoro,
Me and Mikey
Ronan a
both
few
said
comments ago, Ronan did say that we can't play Delit and Maguire because they're too slow. We get exposed in counterattacks. What would you say to that, though?
Who else? Who really else?
Like we need this. Like the argument that Ronan was saying is we need fast center backs along with Maguire or Delit.
Okay.
Yoro, Delit, and Haven would be perfect center back partnership.
If Heaven's back by then, I don't know if he starts though. That's the thing. I don't know if we start him, especially after coming from injury. But like even with Lindelof, we're still slow. Lindelof's not a speedster. I think the fastest center back we have is Yoro, or probably Martinez. And you see where he is. So yeah, I still think we have to play. We got to play that, and these guys will be playing a high line. These guys will be playing on the trying to. They'll be trying to play on the touch line. So all we need is a ball over the top. we're
Ronan
gonna
saying,
we're gonna have to play deep the entire game. I feel like because they're gonna have an unrelenting wave of attack with the guys that they have, the 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙍 and Pedro Porro and what's a 𝗕𝙊𝙍𝙍, and they got a bunch of guys that can get there in the box and make
Blanky.
things happen.
Ronan's
So
saying a good point though. The last 3 games we've scored 10 goals: 3-0, 3-4, 4-1. Hopefully we can
out of
continue
nowhere.
this form over the next 3 games. In my opinion, it feels like Amarin's finally understood his squad much better.
And he's got his guys back. That helps when you get your
Yeah.
guys back. You get your bro. The heartbeat of this team is Amarim. The heartbeat of this team is Amat and Bruno.
Yep.
So
There you go.
when we get both of those in, we have a better chance of beating anybody.
You see the difference when both of them are playing together. Just the way the attack, the way you play an attack, the fluidity you have up there. You just have more confidence with the guys up there when you have when you have Ahmad and Bruno. You have 2 playmakers that have much more class. Like you mentioned it earlier, we talked about it a few episodes ago. We don't have another Bruno in the attacking front. With Ahmad, you have another type of Bruno. So you have 2 players at that level. So that gives you that confidence that you're going to come up with goals.
I think Bruno. I love Mason. I think we do have him.
Man.
I think no, I'm not saying Bruno level, right? We have a Bruno-esque style player. Not on the level of Bruno, but he can do a Bruno job. The fact that this guy has now scored 3 goals in 2 games, he's getting more confidence, he's getting more game time. He's gone 2 months without being injured, right? If we can get any resemblance of what we did, what Chelsea got out of him, we do have another Bruno in that. Because Mason Mount is a quality player, and I'm so happy that he not only scored in the last 2 games, but the smile on his face, he looks like he's enjoying football first time in a very, very long time at Manchester United. And I'm just happy, and I honestly think if he can continue that over the next 2 games and get into the final, we have like he should.
I know earlier in the chat I was just messing around about like, hey Sean, I take it back. I get it. Look, I'm happy for the lad that he had the game that he had. I'm not quite there with saying that he's like at Bruno's level. In cup competition, great. Mason Mount, he's coming up with the results. But similar to what Mikey said, I want to see it for a run of games next year in the Premier League to say,
No, I agree with both
okay,
of you.
we have a player like that. Because that's how Ahmad, right? We all saw some glimpses of him. And then once we finally saw a run of games of him in the Premier League, we were like, oh, yeah, this dude is here to stay. And there was no argument there. So I need to see that too in a more consistent way with Mason Mount.
Yeah. Mr. Green saying Mount's second goal today was real class. First was nice. The first one reminded, like I said to Jeremy earlier, the first one reminded me of Mainu's goal against Liverpool.
Yep, slapped it in the
Mhm.
that one against Wolves, where he slaps it in the little
Yeah.
right hand side, and he has a lot of goals like that where he slaps it low and hard and it rolls around. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. My thing with Mount is that I want him to be good, right? I want him to be good, and I want him to do this all the time. I don't think he's quite. I think he'll ever be next to Bruno or do anything Bruno can do. Bruno is a different gravy, different sauce player in Europe, in the world, right? But I would love to see that. I just don't. I'm not quite there yet. 3-2 is good, but it's also 3-10, right? So it's like don't want to be a little hyperbolic here. Keep going, Mason Mount. Keep going. Don't rest on your laurels and keep playing the way you're playing.
I was saying to Jeremy earlier, Mikey, do you like what Amram has done? Like, keep bringing him back. He started the weekend, but giving him that to keep that injury away from him and finally like build the muscle so it doesn't keep tearing.
Yeah, it is. I do like it, but I was saying a couple weeks ago, I was like, as tough as I've been on Mason Mount, I don't want to see him not play. He has to play. We paid good money for him, and not playing him is just going to take away his sharpness and knock his confidence. You don't want that. You want to keep playing guys like even with Anthony. I wanted to see Anthony play more towards the end because it was like you're not going to get better by getting bubble wrapped on the bench, and we can't afford to have you withering away on the fucking bench. And we're paying you all this money. So no, I want to see these guys get exposed if they have to. so that way they can get in the light. Dorgu's the same way. I don't like Dorgu's game. I think Dorgu is he has a problem with the press. He cannot play around guys at times. He's not tricky. There's times where he crosses the ball to no one a lot more times than often. I haven't seen him put a shot on goal ever. I haven't seen it.
He has had one shot on goal.
I've seen so he's been playing for what 3 months now and had one shot on goal. I hardly see it. He's been in some really good advantageous positions and he's not taking advantage of it. And I feel like his wheels start spinning in the final third. I think he is young and he is new to the league. Not trying to jump on his back too much, but outside of those first few games, since that first red card or since that first mistake he's made and the red card, not a fan. Just not a fan of him at the moment. He has to play his way back into form. But the only way you do that is that you get on the pitch. And I don't think you should be coming off the pitch. I don't think you should have a minutes reduction either. Mount won back-to-back player of the season awards for Chelsea. We got to stop saying that because that was years ago now. But I understand what you're saying under the number 10, 3-4-3 Tuchel. Yes, he's built for this. But that was years ago now. Okay, so we got to stop that.
Casey redacted his message, but I already read it. He said Sean is all about Jason. No, Casey, I'm not sure who Jason is.
Don't take it away.
Well, I know Jason's my brother, like my real brother. His name is Jason, but not sure who Jason is. There we go. Sean is all about Mount. He is a believer. I am a believer. I watch my brother. I watch Mount at Chelsea, and if we can get glimpses,
we can get that. I'm with it. We can get that guy. I'm with it. But we are 3 years. We're 2 years removed from that dude. He has to find his way in this team. That Chelsea team was actually really good. You know, that they were decent. You know, they had a decent manager and a guy competent ownership at the time, I guess, that will put some money behind them to win what they won. So
let's hope that Mason Mount does what he did and passes a beautiful through.
Keep it going.
Hopefully not to Garnacho. Maybe to somebody else to put the ball on the back of the net.
Yeah, Garnacho, man. Garnacho today was crazy.
This is why for me Garnacho has to come off the bench. I think he's going to be he would be a great impactful player off the bench in the final. But I don't want to.
I think that same. Go ahead, bro.
Said Cheese comment said Armani screamed sell Garnacho, the Prez.
Yeah, my thing is that like I think it could be either way now. Now that I really think about it, I think it could be either way. It could be you get Garnacho's line breaking speed at the end of a game when the back line is tired, or you get Mason Mount's ability to press and also break lines and also, you know, play better defense and have a better positional understanding of the game late on, and his experience late on in the game when Garnacho's been running at these guys the entire time. Not truly mad at any of them. I just need to see. I need to if Mason Mount's gonna get on the pitch, I gotta see him or Garnacho first. They need to be working. They gotta be working. It can't be wasted movement, right? Because a lot of times we'll see a guy close the ball down 10 times and like we're like, yes, but it's also we didn't put us in any position to do anything with the ball. We gave it up 6 or 7 times. Garnacho's good for doing that shit. So yeah.
I kind of agree with you in that aspect. Like Mason Mount is better at controlling the game at the end of the game. Better at winning back. He's better at slowing the pace down of the game towards the end.
Yep.
I kind of agree with you on that aspect. He would be better if we're winning 1-0 on having him pace that game, rest the back, maybe neck and maybe better starting Garnacho at the beginning. So I can see where you're at. The flip of he isn't.
Yeah, because not like when we were talking in the chat and Mark's like he's streets above a Garnacho. I'm like, I would hope so. He's 6 years older than me.
I laughed when you wrote that.
I would hope he's streets ahead. We're paying him $50 million or so on. Like, I would hope so. He's a Champions League winner. Like, yeah, he should be streets ahead. So we want to see that. I think we're just mad. Everybody was just mad at Mason Mount because we're not getting return on investment as soon as we're a microwave league. A lot of us can be microwave guys, me included. Okay, we get mad, we don't get what we get, and we're losing, and like the whole cacophony of bullshit that's going on. Right, it's a snowball effect, and we find guys to blame. And Mason Mount, not is Sean's mic okay? I don't know who's saying that.
That was me. Apparently, I'm getting a text saying my mic is pretty bad.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Good.
I can
But
hear you
yeah,
good.
with all those things that's going on, you know,
On
Mason
YouTube.
Mount not playing or not being involved or not getting the goals we want from him or getting that Chelsea guy, you know, from back then, we're not getting it. It's easy to key in on him and be like, you know, he could do this. So I just want to see it more. Do it more. Thank you for today. I appreciate it. As you do well, I have no favorites here. You do well, you get this. And you play like shit, you get what Dorgu's getting is this right here.
Yup.
Even though
That's
Dorgu
exactly.
did play a very good pass in the Garnacho, and Garnacho fucked it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yep, exactly. You see Casey, he's saying Amarim man management has been excellent, playing guys at the right time, making sure they're fully fit.
Yeah.
And then he said Dorgu looks rushed sometimes. He looks overwhelmed.
Yeah, it looks like he has too much. When the ball, okay, so when he gets the ball right on that left hand side, he gets the ball, and guys come in for the press, so they overload the ball side, right? That's what they would say in FIFA. They come in and they overload that ball side with defenders, right? It might even be attackers sometimes come in the extra man to come in. Sometimes when he's playing the out ball or the ball to return to get forward, he doesn't go. He'll play it and he won't play the 1-2 to get free. He'll wait for the third and fifth and sixth pass. And it's like, dog, you need to play the ball to Bruno or Ugarte, whoever's over there in that corner. Most of the times, Ugarte and Bruno, play it out to them, let them figure it out, and you make the run pass to stretch the defender and take him away from what's going on over there. It's too much going on, and you're right there as a body, and the defender with you is a body. Take him with you and run. Use that pace. Let them find you over the top. Let them find you with a flat ball going diagonally. But you're sitting there waiting and playing hot potato, and you're not that good passing in short spaces. So what happens? We lose the ball, and we're automatically, now we're down a man, and now we're going forward. They're going forward with it, and we're putting that pressure on our slow center backs.
So what do you think that's attributed to? Like just mental, just like a mental thing where he just can't get to that hurdle where he knows what he has to do, or is like something physical? He just can't make that pass.
I think he's just young and he needs time to do it. I don't think he's a scrub. Now there's a difference. I don't think he's an absolute scrub. I think there's a player in there, but he has to get a little bit more cleanly with the one touch pass, more clean with the one touch pass. That's gonna get you out of trouble a lot of times. And you see Bruno do it. You saw Bruno today. He put one in and then dummied it forward. And then it hit Dorgu, and then Dorgu was able to pass it and then move forward. I'm like, yes, bro. That's what you need. We need more of that crispness to beat press. Because anytime a team plays us with a physical press that's not going to relent, that's over 10 or 12 seconds, that's when we're in trouble. And they'll do that 10 now. It used to be a 6-second press with Pep. Now teams are doing a 10 and 12 second press once they lose the ball, and then getting right back into their shape. It's like if we could survive those presses or and get forward, we need Dorgu to do that. We'll be in better shape.
I think later the game goes in the final. I think the later the game goes, the better chance we have.
Yeah, I think we're mentally. I agree with that 100%. I think mentally we've been through so much as far as coming back, having to come back, having to figure it out late in games that maybe that might give us the edge there. Let me read Ronan's message real quick. I give it back to you. If Amarim manages the playtime of Mount Shaw, Ahmad, Delicha, well, we could have a really strong squad next season, plus some incoming for sure. I agree with that. We do need to be concerned about the injury-prone players in our squad. Yeah. Injury pros are weird. I'll get back to that in a second. Garnacho had to put that breakaway chance in the back of the net. That little chip to temp was unnecessary. Should have been put in the far post. Being cute and wanting the headlines. That's what it seemed like to me. And I don't even like to say that about guys because like football is about style. It's about expression. So
I said to Jeremy that really pissed me off from him because it showed his lack of maturity, and because he's like I said, I don't know if you saw it earlier, Mike. He was going away from the goal. He wasn't running directly at the goal.
Nope. Yep.
He was running away. The goalie's coming this way. Just go past the goalie. one, you're either going to get it past the goalie, or two, the goalie's going to take you out and the goalie's getting sent off.
Yep.
You've got a better like there was no reason to turn and go towards the goal, and then put it in the back of the net.
100%, 100%.
Lack of maturity and lack of decision making, which goes along with maturity, and it's going to be hard next year because he's going to struggle for playing time. If he stays, he's going to struggle for playing time because there's no way on this planet he plays over Cunha next year.
Oh, that's good. That's good. We want that. We want you to struggle for playing time. That means the guy in front of you is doing well. That means you need to up your game. And that's what we haven't had at United for a long, long, long time. Is people competing for it's been competing for the winger spot for forever. Who's going to play on the wing? Who's going to play on the wing? Is it going to be Marcus Rashford? Is it going to be Anthony? Where does Marcus Rashford want to play? Where does Garnacho want to play? Where does Sancho want to play? Like, it's been that for a long time, but it's not. I need guys to compete at every level, at every position, and know that you're not safe here. Ahmad, you're not safe here, bro. We love you, but you ain't safe here. You need to know, but you've been doing a good job of being safe, so good. Bruno, I think Bruno's the only guy that's untouchable, truly.
With
that's not what the report said.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. If good money comes in for, if 150 million comes in for Bruno,
and we don't make the Champions League,
I'm taking it.
I'll take it. If we don't make the Champions League, we've got to take it.
I'm taking it. He's 30. I was gonna say he's 60. He's 30 years old.
He'll be 31 in September.
Yeah, he's 31. Don't ever mention Sancho. Lord, geez.
Damn.
What did I do?
Did we mention Sancho?
Thank
you for the comment.
No, I don't know who mentioned Sancho.
I just said Sancho. I was like,
oh yeah,
a lot of what we've been having is guys fighting for the same winger spot for years. It hasn't been, oh, we're trying to see who's going to be in the midfield. It's always Bruno, or it's always had to been Casemiro. It's always had to been McTominay. It's always had to been Fred. It wasn't any fights there. We're easily, but like now. Yeah, if Garnacho is not doing well and the guy is above him with Cunha, he's going to have to raise his game to another level or play a different position, make it and figure it out.
Hey, man.
That's it. That's what
Sancho's going to be in a final with... Yeah, Sancho's going to be in a final with Anthony.
I'd be surprised if Real Betis wins that.
Yeah. That's what Sean was saying earlier, right? Sean, what were you saying earlier? If Betis wins,
if Betis wins and Man United win, Anthony becomes the first player in history to win two European titles in the same season with two different teams.
And he was a catalyst for one of them.
Yeah, he was a catalyst for the team today. He set up the winner and scored a goal.
Yep,
and a beautiful free kick at that.
He's running full speed. I'm thinking, dog, this hamstring, you've been playing for 110 minutes. You're running full speed like that. I miss that pace. I miss that pace that he had here, but that's all he had. That's all he had. He was one-footed as hell with pace. And it's like, no, well, bro, you're not my boy that played for Bayern. You're not him.
Well, mind you, he scored 2 freaking goals with his right foot.
Yeah.
And one of them was a banger too.
Yeah, he did that for us a couple times. We showed that he can shoot from distance and that same kind of goal put in top left. We love it. But
I got a question for the chat and for you too. When we make Champions League, I'm gonna say when. Who do you buy as who's your number one striking target? Because we can go for anyone at this point. You can go for anybody. No. You'll be in the Champions League. There's not a player out there that's not going to want to come. Who do you go for as your number one striker target?
Number one striker? Bro,
this is for the chat too.
Answer. Oh, I already know my answer, man.
Who, Chris?
Oh, heck no. I'm getting that big dude from Nigeria, Victor Osimhen. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think Osimhen for me as well, too. Smoke cuckoo for us, Anthony. Yeah, smoke that dude. Smoke him. Yeah, I got to give it to Osimhen. I think he's the most. Osimhen's doing it in multiple places that he's in. Right, he's doing it everywhere. Now Galatasaray didn't do so well in this competition, right? But he's still gonna come out with 20 or so odd goals for them in Turkey. He did that. He won Napoli something, 20 or so odd goals for them too. He's gonna figure it out. He was at what was it? Was it Monaco? It's not Monaco. It's Lille.
Yep.
I forget. I think he was at Lille. and yeah, once again banging him in there as well. So I got to go with him. I have to go with him. He's the most ready, most developed striker of the bunch for me.
I'm gonna go 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀 just on this fact that one, he's played in this system before. Two, and I know it's in a different league, he has over 55 goals in all competitions, and that's including the double he got against City in the Champions. Just because he knows the system, he's the same age as 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀, maybe like a couple of months older. I would probably go with Victor 𝙈𝙊𝙍 over. Also, you're going to get him for less wages too.
I think he's going to Arsenal.
I don't think he will if Man United make the Champions. I think if we make the Champions League and Amarin comes calling, I think he goes to United.
Because I feel like Arsenal has a better, more set up team to win now, right? As opposed to us. And like, yeah, I think the what you call it, the Amarim thing gives us a little bump too. But I think Arsenal's willing to pay more than we are as well. They already have Champions League and more money than we do at this very moment. Having have just played in the Champions League semifinal and probably going to finish third or second or third or fourth. They'll have a bunch of money to spend, and not spending money in January. I think everybody's slating Arsenal. Like Arsenal fans are saying, "Man, we should have spent money in January. Should have spent money." Now you can spend money. Now you can spend it, and they'll have way more money to offer. 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀 for his senior contract, right? This is his contract that's going to take him into the next 4 or 5 years. He's going to turn 30 on this contract. So this is where you get the bulk of your money, unless you're just playing like Bruno level, and you got people saying they're going to give you 100, wanting to give you 150 at 30 years old, which is insane. But it's crazy. I'm old. Bruno Fernandes is younger than I am. That's so crazy. That's so crazy.
Ruben Amorim's younger than me.
That's insane. We're getting old. We're getting old, fellas.
Yeah, we are getting old. Yeah, Ruben Amorim is what? He's 3 years younger than me.
Brian, they only bottled it because they don't have a true striker. I think they get a true striker and they stay healthy in the long run. I definitely had them winning the Champions League this year, but once Gabriel went down, they couldn't do it. I know we all hate Arsenal, bro, but we got to be a little bit. We got to look at what's going on here. Arsenal are ready to win. They have a good team of players.
Mikey, you agree with Arteta's comments then? He said that the best team in Champions League lost or got knocked out.
With the last 4 teams that were remaining, remember I said I had them winning it all. So after they beat Real, I was on board for them to win it all. I think they played a PSG side, which is shout outs to PSG, because PSG did exactly what they're supposed to do. They did exactly, and everybody wants to give them shit like, oh, blood money, da-da-da-da. They lost 3 of the best players to ever play football. At least, 3 top 30 all-time players, right? And what did they do? They got younger. They brought in a vet. They got younger, a guy that was that they say was he's not good enough. He's not reaching his levels. And Dembele. They got 2 young. They got 2 young, real good players, and Doué is such a good player. I would sign that Doué kid in a second. He's better than Garnacho for sure.
Yeah,
100%. He also has a problem with the finishing in the final third as well. But they got younger and they figured it out, and then they just built that midfield. They sold us Ugarte. I was watching that game. I was like, Ugarte wouldn't be able to do none of this stuff that those guys were doing in that game, with being able to win the ball and progress it as many times as they did against Arsenal, who had a decent defense. So shouts to that, but that's what we need to be on too. So yeah, I definitely go Asham in there too.
Yeah, Ronan saying 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀 is a poacher and doesn't offer much in build-up play. Amarim needs a power forward like 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀 or 𝗈𝙊𝙀𝙀. Even Dusan 𝗕𝗓𝗋, with a year left on his deal, could be a smart option. I get what you mean, because
I wanted Vlahovic too. I wanted Vlahovic for a minute too, but I think that ship sailed. But go ahead. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, no, it was just like I get what you mean, because he likes a player to drop back, lay the ball off, and run. That's why I think he would want 𝙈𝙬𝙍 over 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀, because 𝙈𝙬𝙍 drops all the way back. He does what I really think, and this is why I would like 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀 as well, because I think 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀, I think 𝙈𝙬𝙍 could teach Rasmus a hell of a lot about this lineup.
Jimbo said, I think it's that toupee that's making you memorize with Asna.
Why is everyone against 𝙈𝙊𝙍, man? 𝙈𝙊𝙍 scored 13 goals this season in a team that has less than 40% possession per game. That's pretty impressive. 13 goals in a team that has less than 40% possession per game.
But but if you put him up against the people we're naming.
No, I agree with you, but I'm about maybe bringing 𝙈𝙊𝙍 as maybe a backup. If you get Champions League, you can probably bring both of them in. He's a power forward too. He's big.
I have no problem with 𝙈𝙊𝙍 if we go get Acuna and one of the top guys that we've named. I have no problem with him coming on, and then we could probably loan out or just keep what's his face, Rasmus. We don't need Gyökeres if only Rasmus could score more. Listen, that's the issue. So that's why we do need him. But like if we could bring in both of those guys on some decent wages, then I keep. But we're paying Rasmus too, right? We're paying Rasmus. We're gonna be paying 3 strikers and 1 not to really play. That's the problem we run into, because that takes away from the budget for what we need. We need somebody to come and help Ugarte. Casemiro's getting older. He's gonna leave. He has to leave eventually.
I honestly think, Mikey, that Bruno plays in that 8 next. I think they drop him back because the fact that Cunha's coming in. I think if Garnacho stays, if Mount can stay relative, we've left it in the past, but he's gone 2 months now without an injury. I'm touching all the fucking wood I can right now. But if he can stay relatively fit, Ahmed, I think they drop him back. But he's going to be 31 in September. Joe Rooney, drop him back in that 8 position and help cover Ugarte.
Arsenal has a excellent director. I'm sorry, my ring light's in the way of the comments, but Arsenal has an excellent director of football. He's from Sporting. Yeah, that's huge. I just think that we are the least appetizing for a lot of teams, only because of we're a project, and we definitely, if we get Champions League football, we're still a project. That we haven't shown anybody that there's going to be some stability with. Arsenal's the finished product. They just need the one thing. Yep. Liverpool's already won it. They just need to refreshen themselves. Chelsea is up there. They're up and down, but they're not us. There's a lot of teams that that have money and Champions League football possibly that can do it. I think Chelsea. Does Chelsea have a chance to get Champions League football? Even though they'll
get Champions League football.
Yeah, they're what are they? Fifth
they're in 4th place, I believe.
It's tight up there, ain't it though?
It is.
Yeah, but Forest have completely dropped back. They haven't won in the last 3 games. They're kind of out of it. I was really hoping that they won last weekend, because if they had won last weekend, there's 4 points between 5th and 2nd. 4 points between 5th and 2nd, I believe.
Yeah, it's real tight at the top.
I don't think Arsenal's going to finish 2nd, boys. I don't think they're going to finish 2nd.
I mean, Forest is only down. Forest only down like 2 points from 5th.
Well, you got to remember Arsenal's next 3 games, right? Newcastle, Liverpool, Brighton.
Yep, tough games.
And you think they're going to finish 2nd?
I think that's what they got to play for now, because they don't have the league.
No, I get you, but I just don't. I don't see them 2nd.
I think it's wide open here for these Nottingham Forest again. Yeah, because even Villa has a say. Villa's with 60 points. They have a say. Newcastle at 63. Yeah. I think they all. It's 3 games left in the season.
Yeah,
and you got to remember, Nottingham Forest last game I think of the season is against Chelsea.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna
be
tough.
A huge game, man. That's big implications.
That game's gonna be worth millions. Literally worth millions.
Yep, that's gonna be a decider. That's gonna change a lot of trajectories, for sure. Don't say we're in a cup final. Don't say that we're in a cup final.
We are in a cup.
I don't understand. Did I miss something, Brian? Help me out.
Don't say that we're in a cup final. Oh, I think he's saying it. I don't know.
We are in a cup final.
Mr. Green, people are sour on him because he is demanding Champions League, all while facing league championship if no one rescues him from Ipswich. I like him, big, strong forward, good feet. I wanted to say something about that. Bro, what world do we live in that, he's saying that. Guys have always said this. They've always said stuff like this, like, yo, I'd like to play in a team that's already playing the Champions League already. That would sweeten the deal. This has been said 100 times. I don't see nothing wrong with saying that. He's not gonna. They can't pay him. Some team's gonna pick him up. Somebody's gonna pick him up. So I don't have no problem with him saying that. Make your intentions be known. I want to play in the best team with the best players in the best competition. That's what we should all want. This idea, like when Emmerdon said this whole, oh, if you want to play for Man United, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine and all, but like,
he's got to say that though, right?
Yeah. It sounds good, Emmerdon. It sounds very good for you to say that. I'm not mad at you for saying that, but come on, bro.
I agree with Brian here. Like, Arsenal have the good news is, Brian, if Arsenal win this weekend, right, and draw the next game, they will officially be in second place when we play in the Europa League final. And the reason why I want them to be in second when we play in the Europa League final is because the last 2 seasons when they've finished second, and I'm very superstitious, the last 2 seasons when they've finished second, we won a trophy.
Insane. Right. Jen Will says Chelsea with their championship manager as what their fans calls him.
Yeah, they call him.
Talking about the lap 22, yeah.
I think the lap would. I don't think the lap's ready to start for Man United, but I think the lap would be a good signing.
When we win, Gunners finish second in the league. Well, we're just talking about that. And then when we had a young Ronaldo and Rooney, they had Ruud and Saha as mentors. Holland needs similar support. Garnacho, Mainu, Dorgu, and Raz are supposed to be protected from pressure, media, and injuries.
Yeah.
Injuries, but pressure is always going to be there once you wear the shirt. You're always going to have pressure. We can't protect you from that. We really can't protect you from the media anyway. You got to protect yourself from that. You got to come off the fucking phone and lock in and put your all into this football and not what people are saying.
So, Mikey, you want to go ahead? I completely forgot. Do you want to go ahead?
Oh, yes. Shouts to Red Devil Threads. I got my box. Nice shirt with all the shirts on, with all the different shirts. I wish I had it on right now, but yeah, shouts to Red Devil Threads. What you do is reddevilthreads.com. Go on there, type in, you look at what you want. Maybe you just want to buy a shirt. Maybe you just want to buy some trinkets. You want to buy a towel. Anything you buy, that will be supported by Reds, not the Glazers. So I definitely say, please buy. I got enough Glazers crap in my house. I want to buy stuff from Reds. Reds supporting Reds. That's what we're all about here at this fan channel. So type in Red Devil Threads. Yeah, you type in StateSideReds. I'll give you 10% off your first purchase. Or you can also subscribe and get a nice little kit to your house. It's about $19.99. Cool. You probably spend that on cigarettes or coffee or something that you shouldn't be drinking anyway or doing anyway. So go ahead and support these Reds. Type in that StateSideReds, 10% off. And you can get your subscription every month to the house. Mine came very quick. It came in like 3 days. Can't wait. I'm glad to be working with them. Glad to be supporting Reds. And yeah, shouts to them for sure. And then you got the illustrious, the great and strong and world famous Balorian, Manuclean, Shakirian, LLP. Listen, guys, in the LA area, around the world, if you need help, something's going down, you slip and fall on a banana, hurt your tailbone, can't work, hit up Balorian Manukian LLP. That banana shouldn't be on the floor. Costco needs to know better. All right. They've won 400,000 for people. They've won 100,000. They've gone up against the feds and whooped them. Okay. So Ike, Ani, Ashat, Vahe, David, all of them, man, there, hit them up. All right. They got a team full of dedicated attorneys willing to work for you to win. And that's at 747-444-4444. That's 747-444-4444. In Encino, California, shouts to y'all, man.
Yeah. So real quick, we're gonna do the score for Sunday. I'm gonna go with a 2-1 loss because I think we're gonna play kids. We're West Ham.
Jen Will said, or maybe you've been mentally injured due to the stress Man United have given you. Call them. Yes, I might. Listen, if we didn't win if we didn't go to the final today, I would have definitely sued Man United for damage, for emotional distress. I would have called Asha. I said, Asha, line it up. Call the Glazers. I have emotional distress because we blew a 3-0 lead. Insane.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Sean. I'm sorry what you're
No, I was
saying.
going to say for the predictions for this weekend, I'm going to go with 2-1 to United. 2-1 loss.
Don't care.
I know we don't care, but
Same.
we're just doing some predictions.
For all I
Okay.
care is like 1-0 we lose. But again, it's nothing that I really care too much about. All my chips are in Europa final, man. That's the only thing that matters.
Who are we playing? 2-0 United. Play the damn kids. Play the kids. Play
Exactly.
the kids, man. I know some of these guys. Some guys have to play. Some guys have to play. You don't want match sharpness is a big thing. So some guys have to play, but just play these kids, man. I think Harry Amas did a good job coming on late. I like that kid. I like him. He's scrappy. He's fast. He's quick. Definitely quick. I don't know fast.
Come a long way.
Yeah, he's tough. He's tough. Play the U10s. General, you're hilarious, bro. Let's go 1-1. Play them kids, says Brian. Yeah, bro. Class action suit, bro. We all gonna sue them if we lost today. I'm telling you. And it felt like it a little bit. But
It was in the Spurs City.
You know what? I wouldn't even be mad at us if we lost in this final, only because we haven't lost yet. You know, I would be hurt. It just depends on how we lose. Because if you guys already know how I felt about the Europa League final last time, if it happens like something like that again, I will personally go see about Onana myself. Okay, if he misses a penalty from his feet, bro, I'm telling you, it's gonna be absolute bedlam. I might not. You might not see me anymore.
And we got him because he's good on his feet. So that would be
That would be awful. That would be awful. But you know, that stung me. That David De Gea thing stung me. Commiserations to David De Gea today. He played a good game today, and he just didn't make it to the final. Commiserations to him and Fiorentina.
Yep. But that's been another episode of Stateside Reds. Me and Mikey will be back Monday.
Yes, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling better now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All tests are
Shout out to Mikey.
Everything's going good. I'm feeling good. I had to go get an IV today because I was feeling really weak. But straight now, we there's no cancer, no crazy stuff like that. I just probably don't need to be working out as much as I've been doing. So
yeah.
All right.
Trust me, I know all about that. I've been doing a lot. I just signed up for my I don't know if you saw, I just signed up for my first 10K, so I've got extra training doing.
Hey, congratulations on the last one. I didn't get a chance to tell you. You're looking good. You're looking nice and slim. Looking slim in the face, and you're finishing all these races.
Down to 208 now.
We gotta get you. We gotta get you some stuff to run in. Are you running United shirts?
No, but once I'm down a bit more, tank top. I'll get a Stateside Reds tank top.
Yes, man, that's great, bro. That is definitely great. Shout out to you for sure.
Yeah, I'm down
Shout out, Sean.
Down from 245 in August to 208.
That's beautiful, man.
Big shouts out to you, Sean. I'm catching up to you, bro. I went from like around 255-ish to like about 210, 211, 212.
Doing that race.
Yeah, I was about almost 300. I was almost 300 pounds, like 297, and I'm down to 259.
Ooh, nice, man.
But we do need to get together soon, Mikey, and real close. Getting real close to Atlanta trip.
For sure. I still haven't found this. We'll talk.
Right, boys. That's another episode of Stateside Reds. Thank you, everyone, for popping in. Ronan, Brian, everybody else.
Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody watching.
Yeah, thanks for everyone watching. Please hit the like, subscribe. It does make a difference, and we'll see you on Monday. Peace out, everyone.
Peace
out.